Are we starting or what? Guess where we are? In another cafe. Basically, I ordered 2 matchas. The first, they offer 3 matchas, right? So they offer your typical matcha, your balanced one. Then they offer the umami one, which is about flavor, if I'm not wrong, with umami. And then they offer one that is grass. I don't like how people describe matcha as grass, but I guess what they mean is like more matcha-y, more stronger in taste or something, or a bit more bitter. So I tried the umami one because I'm very curious. I want to see what's the difference, and also I thought that it would have like a nice kick to it, but instead it was more watered down in my opinion. I actually don't really like this one as much, and I didn't like it because of that. And I didn't want to leave this place because it was an accidental find. I'm going to Dragon House to meet my cousin later, and I didn't want to be so far away. Like the first cafe we were wanting to go to was super far, so we're like, okay, let's find an alternative that is closer. We stumbled on this on Google Maps, and I knew like coming into here that okay, I'm gonna like it because it has a nice aesthetic. It is cold but not like isolating. Like it has a cool element to it, but it's not like, you know, when you go to a cafe and they're just like super try hard and like uncomfortable, and it's all about being cool, but they don't take in consideration of like, I don't know, you wanting to sit there for a few hours. This one is the opposite. Like they actually have like there's a comfiness to it, even though it's like still going for that cool aesthetic. And I didn't want to give this place a low matcha score because I had a feeling that okay, if I tried like a normal matcha, it may be better. I tried the more balanced one and it is much better. However, I realize now that I'm more of a hot matcha girl. I feel like it, you know, you can feel the flavors, you can taste the flavors more, the texture is better. And another thing is that a hot drink just hits better, especially in the morning. So I tried to like rate it, taking that into consideration that it is ice. It's not my usual favorite, which is hot. I still really like it, you know, despite it being ice. And also his coffee was really like presentation wise, it was really nice. So I definitely want to come here again. And then when I come here again, I'm going to try the third one where it's like the most matcha, and I think I will like it more because I like the taste of the matcha. So maybe the score of it will go higher more. Yeah. So here's the tea about yesterday, or the matcha.
Oh my god, it's not funny.
That's so lame. I was very sick. I had masukangin, but like not your typical one where nothing was working. I put green oil or white oil. I call it green oil because the bottle is green, but the oil is white. So I put white oil on my back, stomach, everywhere. That was hurting. What's it called? I don't know what the name of it in Indonesian is, but I had like the coin thing and my back was super red, had so many red lines. And then I even took like 2 tolakangins, drank a lot of hot water, and I was just in so much pain. Like I couldn't move, and it was just so unbearable. I couldn't sleep. I had maybe about like an hour, 2 hours sleep the whole night. And I already booked that day the tennis simulator for a ground. Yeah, and for a ground. And then I also booked a gaming cafe to play with my friends later on. So we texted the gaming cafe and they were like, okay, if you want to reschedule, just make sure that this is your last rescheduling. We're like, okay, no worries, thank you. And then for the tennis simulator, they're like, there's no reschedule and there's no refund. And we tried like multiple times to ask and like plead with them and tell them like, I'm sick, like I literally cannot move out of bed to come to this. They just didn't care. Like they were just like, no refund, reschedule. Now, it'd be like one thing if it was like, okay, I just want a refund. I understand, like, for business purposes, you don't want to refund them, but reschedule? Why not reschedule? And I gave them, it's not like I gave them an hour in advance. I gave them a few hours in advance. So they could all just like slip a person in there. It's not like it was that busy. There were so many free slots as well. The reschedule just like honestly baffled me. And I was like, okay, so then what happens to my money? You just take it? And they just didn't respond. So basically I'm down 390K for me just laying in bed in pain. And like, it just gives me a bad image of the company that you care more about, like, it's like, it shows that you don't care about your customers. It shows that you don't care about your community. There are so many reasons why someone can't come. What if I was in a car crash? Like, what if I was in actual pain, like, you know, my leg broke or something like that? You don't care about your customers and you would rather keep that 390. You know, the policy just doesn't make sense to me. So I'm down 390K, and it's may not seem a lot in Europe, but one, I'm just graduated, so it's not like I have like stupid amount of money, and two, like, I don't know, it's a lot for Indonesians here, and it just shows that you don't care about your customers. You just care about the money. In this situation, the only thing I could do was just complain, leave a bad review, and then they just take my money. So interestingly enough, the first one with the umami taste, it tastes better now that there's no ice. I don't know how that happened. Doesn't it though? Mm-hmm. Very weird, very strange. Maybe it was like meant to settle in for a while and then you taste it instead of drinking it straight away. And the after of this, I would rate this like, honestly, I would rate this 7. Like, it's actually very enjoyable. Maybe 7.5. Everything's 0.5 for me.
Around here, huh?
Look how aesthetic this queen is.
Okay. I'm being recorded again.
Shortcuts be like, straight ahead, yeah. Four, yeah. I like this one. So we're waiting for my cousin, and we got this like package. What is this?
They would call it a snack platter. A gorengan platter.
Fried platter. Okay, this is?
Tempe. I think it's banana. Or sweet potato. Tahu. Loaded tahu. This I don't know.
It kind of looks like a sausage, but I know it's like not. There's no meat in it.
But you asked by a girl, you sausage?
This?
I forgot what that is. Some Thailand rice thing.
Oh, they're there.
Okay.
That's my cousin there. What's called Sheshu?
Chashu.
Cashew? Rice, whatever. Then this is, hello,
Oh, sorry. This is pak choy.
bok choy.
Dory. Sweet. Oh, general sao chicken and mie ayam. Mushroom mie ayam. Mie ayam.
And then refillable iced tea.
So we got the bacon. Empat. It's like this. Oh.
But there's also katan. I don't know.
Things can't really explain.
want to give me a stone?
No.
I have sheep, I have wood, and I have brick.
No.
Stone?
Wait, I only got one wood.
You don't want to give me stone.
I need a stone.
Okay.
Stones.
Well, I'm not doing it. So,
Oh. Wait. Whoa. Oh my god. This is insane. What the hell, dude? Yeah, some kind of cheat code. Yeah.
and then,
Wait, you can't. You already made it out city.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you did.
You did.
what did I make it?
It's not. This one.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I rolled the dice.
Uh-huh.
What's the number of the dice?
I do not know. Oh, 9.
It's a 9.
It was a 9, then you got wood. And
Then
then
you-
you something, and then you made. Yeah, and then you made a city.
Where's the video there?
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Stop saying that. Every time you say it, it's jinx. It's true.
Hey, that's great.
Wait, what?
How is that great? That does nothing.
Yeah, it does.
Yes, it does.
Oh my god.
So wait, if I press 1, 2, I can put something here. Right?
Yeah, I think you can.
I will.
You might be targeted.
You and me.
Yeah. Because once I make a city, I'm 10. And I can make a city. Sheep.
So then when does this
That's the
end?
only way to win.
As soon as my turn ends, it'll be 10-10, and then me and you 1v1 with our fists. So it means-
I probably would have lost if you guys lasted me to thinking I made this into a city.
Yeah. Your turn.
Alright then. So
Then I guess you two win. That's what.
11. 4 more wood. So I can keep trading.
Just make it a city. You're making the guy wait.
Then again, I can only build once. Make my city. I'll go. Wait. Wait a minute. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wait, it's 10. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. 10.
So who wins? Oh, 6. So you. 9.
That was fun.
It was fun because you won, right?
But in general, it's fun, no?
It is. Are you gonna go back home? Are you gonna use 2 best class for Qatar?
No.
No.
No. Whoa. You said your mind. You said your fucking mind.
Is that what you did, Jeff?
Yeah. No.
Hello. So I'm recording this again because I have a trouble of articulating myself. That is something I wish people would know in advance. There are times when I can really articulate myself. I know what I'm saying. I'm very passionate about certain points and I can really get to them. However, there's a lot of times where I don't know how to articulate myself. It's something it's not an inherent thing that I have. It's something that I tried for many, many years to teach myself. I want to talk about my passing, which is one of the reasons why I kind of stopped recording for a bit. I was there when she was slowly, losing her life, and it's the first time I experienced something like this. I have seen my Nana get sick. She had cancer and stuff. And I've been through those treatments, seen her through those treatments, so I know what sickness looks like. However, this is the first time I've ever seen someone pass away and their life slowly going. So it was, I guess the word is profound experience. I am still stuck with it a few days later. I can't exactly explain why, but it's just something that's in my mind, and it's not because of sadness or anything. I mean, of course it is a tragedy when someone passes away. However, I am more just like sitting with this situation of it all and, you know, experiencing what is life and death. And I guess I want to explain like why it also hit me so much. So when she was slowly passing away, it was just a weird coincidence because I'm not really meant to be in Indonesia right now. I'm here to get my cats, and I was hoping for my LDR boyfriend to be coming with me, but all signs point to him not coming. He'd be probably in Indonesia a lot longer. Which, yeah, one day I do want to talk about like LDR and how we are dealing with it, because I did not think that, like me, especially me as a person, would be able to handle LDR, but for some reason it's bit by bit it's manageable. But yeah, I wasn't even meant to be here, and even just how it came about. I was going to my cousin's house with my partner, and we were just going over to hang out, and you know, my umba lives very close to my cousin's place. And when my cousin told me like, hey, you know, umba is sick, so we should go over, got a call that umba was sick. And when we went over, she had trouble breathing. She had those big gas things, you know, to help you breathing, and she got the wire to like be put in her nose. And even that, I think, was my first experience seeing that. If I remember, I know my nana, I don't think she had breathing problems, so I'd never seen that from her. She has got sick before, and usually it would last like an hour, but it was a lot longer this time. And thankfully we have a cousin that's a doctor who could help out, because it was coming up to Eid and there was barely anyone answering the calls. Like the doctor that usually took after her had to go back to Kampung, and like just people weren't around. So thankfully we had a cousin that was a doctor. She really helped a lot, and we were all there just saying our prayers. I wish I was better at saying prayers, but I tried my best. My family's really religious. There's many different religions. Some are Muslim, some are Christian, well, I think there's no more Catholics. There is a Catholic. I don't think they were there though. And my umba is Christian, and they were saying prayers and stuff like that, and eventually they had to go home because it was late. It was a long period of time where she wasn't able to breathe, and I was given the task to, you know, say prayers to her, and I felt like I could have done better. I messed up for sure. Yeah, so that's one thing I wish I did better, is just to give her like more, to give her better prayers. Anyways, during that time, like there was a doctor that came, but came really late, and there was moments where her legs were just so cold, and you know, we tried. There was a lot of family members, and I'm so happy that she was surrounded by a lot of people, and a lot of people cared about her. I don't know why I'm emotional. That's so weird. Yeah, so she was surrounded by a lot of people, and when the doctor came, they put some like fluid. I don't know what it's called, but it's one of those fluids that give you nutrients and stuff. They put that in her, and her heartbeat went up because it was quite low, and she seemed like she was getting better. So we were there from like 3 p.m. until maybe 2:30. We left 2:30 in the morning. We left to go back and, you know, have some sleep and visit her again in the morning. And then my cousin calls and says that actually she's sick again, and we were like, okay, we need to go get ready. And it was too late. She passed away. We went over to try help as much as we could. I mean, in Indonesia, it's very different experience to having a death in the family, or a death in general. In Ireland, usually there is some time given. Yeah, so the differences in Ireland versus in Indonesia, in terms of like when someone passes away, there's a lot more time given for Irish people, or I don't know if it's a European thing as well, but I know in Ireland for sure, when the body can be picked up and put in like a freezer, if I'm not wrong, and they're there for a while, and then you have time to prepare for the funeral and the wake and etc. Whereas in Indonesia, everything needs to be done super quickly. My dad said it's because it has to be done before sundown, which is, if it is true, good on him. I didn't even know that he would know this information. So it all had to be done that day. That day, like at 7 in the morning, she was finally brought to the funeral home, and then she started to be prepared. And this is another thing that's different between Ireland, or I think even Europe, I suppose, and Indonesia, is that when you're preparing the body, usually it's just someone that prepares it and the family members are not involved. But this time they are involved, and I was involved, and it's a weird experience in terms of, like, I guess if you were to ask me would I want to do it a year ago, I would be like, definitely not. But I am thankful in a weird way that I did experience it, because it made me see what it was like when you do pass away and what happens. And I guess it makes me come to terms with death a lot more because of that experience. So then when we were there, the grandchildren, usually apparently the grandchildren would be given the task to wash the body. First, before washing the body, actually, there was fluid being put inside her. I don't know what it's called, or I can't remember what it was called. And they put it in, like, I didn't see all of it, but they put it in the mouth and stuff like that. But I did see the part where they put it in the stomach with the cotton, and I just don't know why. I can't explain it. I'm not the type of person to watch those things, but I just could not watch. I just wanted, I don't know why I wanted, I just couldn't stop looking. So when that happened and the stitches were back, when they stitched her up, we then washed her body. And after we washed her body, we clothed her in nice batik. Well, is it batik? It is considered batik, right? But very nice clothing, colorful clothing, because she doesn't like black. They brought the body into the funeral home and they were doing makeup. So eventually I actually had the task to do the makeup, because when she was so the people that were doing the makeup, they're not makeup artists, which is understandable. They are there to like preserve the body. And there was moments where it started off, actually, they were putting foundation on her and there was like patches. So I was like, oh, I was like to my cousin, like, hey, it's not blended on the upper lip. So then they gave me the beauty blender and I started blending, making sure it's blended in. And then afterwards they started doing the eyeshadow, and then I was like, oh, the one eye is darker than the other. So then they're like, here, okay, make sure it's even. Started doing the eyeshadow. And then the eyebrows, I was like, oh, this eyebrow is darker than this one. And then they gave me the pencil and I was doing it as well. To the point where they eventually were just like, here's the makeup, you do it. So I'm happy that I was a part of that experience too. I have seen moments where they put, like, when people that preserve the body, I don't know what they're called, they have really done the makeup not how the person looks, and I'm happy that I tried my best to like make sure that it was just blended and even, and it did look like her. That happened, the wake happened that day, the same day she passed. The following day was the funeral. And of course, it was one of the hottest days to be wearing black. Yeah, she had a really nice funeral. I just loved how she was surrounded by a lot of people, and I loved the amount of flowers. Like, the flowers were gorgeous as well. But during that whole process, I barely slept. We also had to organize getting flowers and stuff, and it was, all of that happened. And literally the next day was Eid. So there was just no time to like rest or relax, and that's fine. Eid was good, and the whole experience, yeah, it made me appreciate life more, for sure. And on top of that, later on, me and Indra, we watched this movie called How to Make Millions Before Grandma Dies, I think it's called, which also celebrates death, but not in a way that's like devastating. I think even for the it is, for me, obviously it's a different experience. For my family members, it could be devastating, but I came out feeling very grateful for life, and honestly very passionate. One of the main reasons why it was hard for my to fall asleep was because she was so worried about her work, and that's something so admirable. That's something so admirable, that she was so passionate about work that she wanted to make sure that people read her work, that it's shared, that it's not forgotten. She had so much heart in tourism and, you know, Indonesia. I hope to be as passionate as her. I hope to be as proud as her in terms of work. So it taught me a lot of things, and I'm very grateful that I was here when it all happened. I think those experiences of appreciating life and appreciating people's passion, or witnessing how passionate someone can be, those lessons will be learned a lot later in life, and I'm happy I learned them now.
Want to play again?